G'day guys, it's Mark here from North Oz, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you how my stock Prado suspension is holding up with being loaded up with all the gear that I have now. I've got the drawer system in there now, I've got the fridge, it's all been, I've taken out a couple of seats, yeah, I've got the Rhino racks on there, fully loaded up. So I just want to talk about how these shocks are holding up, how the stock suspension's holding up, and we're going to do that while going down a pretty steep and not technical road, but definitely starting to get a little bit rough now. We're starting to get our first rains here in far north Queensland. So stick around. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do that, and let's get stuck into today's video. All right, so let's start with the fact that from stock, from the factory, the suspension on the Prado is very good. I've taken this in sand, I've taken 3-4 passengers with gear and heaps of, we've done everything with this that you could possibly do really on stock suspension in this car, and it's held up fine. Now, and another thing is that it holds up so well on the road. It's so quiet on the road. It's really like the perfect vehicle to have to pull off the factory floor and just go and do stuff in. And it's been amazing. I haven't really felt the need to upgrade the suspension, and I've kind of been thinking, why do people upgrade the suspension on this straight away when it's been going fine so far? And I'm starting to run into some limitations. So I just want to get that out of the way first, is that the stock, if you are someone who doesn't have a Prado, and it just provides a bit of context that from the factory, the suspension on these vehicles are actually, it's really good. So with that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what I'm struggling with at the moment. And the thing that I'm struggling with is now I've got my full camping setup. So I've got my Rhino rack, my new fridge, which is a bit heavier than the last one. I've got my fridge slides, 2 of them, one for a pantry that I'm either going to make or I'm going to buy, I'm not sure yet. I've got my drawer system in there now too, and my battery. So there's a lot in here, and by the time I add in all my water and I add in my swag and all these different things, it's starting to weigh down the car. And even though I've taken out the back seats, the far back seats, and also one of the seats from the second row, it still doesn't seem to be enough to be able to keep the car performing as it did from stock, as it did from the factory. So one of the things that I'm noticing, and these are the things that I guess you should be watching out for, is and trying to decide whether or not you want to upgrade your suspension, which is why, and this is how I've arrived at this conclusion of, I need to upgrade my suspension. It's, I'm starting to notice that even on calm roads where there's only small bumps in the road, I'm starting to feel them a lot more. When I'm turning corners as well, like say on roundabouts, for example, I'm starting to notice that I'm getting a lot more lean on the car as well, which, is not something that is desirable, because, it feels like the car is just so off balance. It feels like that I'm going to tip over if I don't slow down a little bit. Whereas when it was stock and I didn't have the weight in the car, it was fine, and it felt like that it could carve through the corners with no issues. The next thing, I guess, and this is the last thing, which is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, was that when you get out onto the dirt tracks, especially when you're trying to go a little bit faster or slower, it doesn't matter, to accommodate for these bumps, these rough corrugated tracks that we have here. And I'm just noticing that even on the smaller bumps, I'm starting to get a lot more shock through the cabin. And we all know that vibration kills cars. So I really don't want to have any more problems than I need to. If it's a matter of just upgrading the suspension, then I think I'm gonna have to do it. And I'm noticing, even on big bumps like that one there, the car wouldn't have reacted like that in the past. But because now I've got a bit more weight, and it is, you know, a bit further towards the back than it would be if I was carrying passengers. So those back shocks are probably really loaded up at the moment, and that's obviously causing some issues. In the front, it's fine. I think that the front's tracking really well. It's going, you know, when I point it somewhere, it goes there, but then I'm just getting a lot of shock through the back. So I think it's time to upgrade the rear suspension, guys. Let me know what suspension you think. I'm thinking of the Fulcrum suspension lift, probably doing some 100 kilogram constant loaded shocks in the back. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Let me know what you think. I'll sit down and do the numbers and you know, and kind of arrive to whether or not I need to do maybe 100 to 200 constant loaded shocks. But yeah, I don't have a bull bar on here at the moment, so I'll just leave pretty much the fronts how they are. But I will do a complete you know, lift as well, probably like a 5 centimeter lift. Hopefully that'll help out what I'm experiencing at the moment. But I thought, you know, I just thought I'd make a quick video while I'm on the road here, and sorry if I've been a little bit distracted, because I'm just trying to make sure I'm staying on the road. But you know, I just thought that if you're someone who either A, doesn't have a Prado and is looking to buy one, or you have one already and you're just trying to understand when you should be upgrading, hopefully this helps you out a little bit. You know, for me, I think that these cars can handle a lot. If it was just speaking without the numbers, you know, if you've got a roof rack on there, like a Rhino Rack platform, which kind of weighs a bit, you know, if you've got a Rhino Rack platform, maybe some max tracks on there, you're carrying a few people, and you've got some stuff in the car for camping, like your water and stuff, you know what, I reckon you're probably safe, hey. But just play it by your feel, trust it. And if you start to feel the car leaning too much, you know, obviously you have problems. And obviously if you're getting a lot more vibration through the car, maybe that's when we should be upgrading the suspension. I don't have a lot of experience upgrading suspension, so this is a first for me. So I will, you know, all these videos I make are just my opinion, guys. So I will do another video. I will do another video after I've upgraded suspension. Hopefully I see some changes in the suspension, and I'll report back to you guys to, I guess, give you an idea of whether or not it's worthwhile. And that's kind of where I'm up to. You know, I hope that it fixes some of the issues that I'm having at the moment. I will as well be doing some a wider tire setup just to help with the stability. I think is going to be important. Just maybe going with a slightly lower offset wheel, just to push the wheel further out from the car. You know, just little things that hopefully will make a big difference when you put it all together. So yeah, and I hope that, you know, if you're someone that's looking for a Prado, yeah, the suspension from factory is really great. It'll probably do everything you need to do. But for the people that are maybe, you know, getting, you know, going a little bit more remote, carrying a little bit more gear, yeah, I think that we need to think about our suspension. And I don't think it's a good idea to rush out and get it straight away. I think what I'm doing now, which is really giving the suspension a good test and a good go, good flogging, is probably the way to do it, because you might find that you don't need to spend the extra money. You can spend that on a camping trip, you know. So yeah, so for me, I reckon just give it a go, see how you like the suspension. I would say doing what I'm doing is probably best practice. But you know, if you guys have any experience with the suspension, just let me know. Let me know what you think. What suspension systems have you been running on your GX460s and your Prados? Yeah, I'm really interested to know what are some recommendations that you guys have of some companies, and hopefully we can hopefully we can fix some of the issues that I'm having at the moment. Alrighty guys, that's it from me at the moment, and I've got a camping trip I'm on my way to, so there are heaps more videos coming out, so stick around, and I'll see you guys shortly.